No beard. Hey, aloha, offline sharks and remote marketing agency owners. How's everybody doing? Tom Gaddis, the wizard here, the wizard, and my business partner, Nick Ponte on there. How's it going, everybody?
Tom, did you get a new haircut?
Yeah,
Looks great.
I was just giving Nick flack for not noticing my haircut or that I shaved my beard.
Not noticing my haircut. Like that's something that I would notice. Hey man, did you get a haircut today? I don't know that's really, yeah. I don't pay attention to that kind of
stuff.
I
look good anymore, Nick. I don't like it.
Yeah. You never notice when I get a haircut. You can't come to my birthday.
What does everybody think of the background music?
We're partying today. Big time.
We're partying today. Yeah, partying today. I have still not been able to figure out how to get the sound, the clapping thing. I'm gonna have to actually Sean help me with that. Richard, what's up, my man? Yes, Cameron, background music. Jacqueline, welcome. We have an amazing show lined up for you today. As always, we're gonna be hanging out for the next hour. We're gonna be talking local marketing, talking about some things that have been going on this week. Plus, we'll be talking about some remote living tips. You know, Nick just got back from his world travels and he's picked up some hacks, secret tips, things that he did to work and play all at the same time. What's up, Bill? So we'll talk about all those. I'm going to cue the intro and then we'll be back shortly.
Ready for the fastest 60 minutes of strategies and tactics to build your remote business from anywhere in the world? It's now time, the moment you've been waiting for. After 167 agonizing hours, they've returned. Now, back for a brand new Sharks Live show. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
We're back.
Tom, Patty wants to know if you got a haircut.
I saw it. Yes, Patty, I did. Thank you for noticing, Patty. I really appreciate that. I didn't even notice.
He's so sensitive.
I am so sensitive here. I'm trying to get things ready in the background. I was on another call before this, so I'm a little behind. I'm going to do here. So let's talk a little bit about what's been going on this last week. I don't know if you guys saw my email about my daughter, but I thought this was a great story and I wanted to share it here. And then
did anybody read that email about Tom and his daughter? If you did, well, if you like that email, hit the like button on this stream, first of all, so we can get some likes. But second of all, what do you think? Let us know in the comments about what you thought about that email. It was a great email, Tom.
Yeah. Oh, I just saw. Okay. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, it's so funny because so this is my youngest daughter, right? So this is the same daughter that she got like 10,000 TikTok followers. And when I asked her, she was like, I think 11 at the time. And I was like, how are you getting TikTok followers? And she goes, well, Dad, she said, I make a video. And then when I post the video, she's like, I look at all the comments, and if people make suggestions for things to me to do in my next video, I do those. And I was like, oh my God, like so simple, right? Like so what's she saying? Like, I give them what they want. She's like, I put something out and then I see if it's what they wanted or not. And then I just do whatever they ask me to do.
You're like, I know that's the best way to do it. So was it Paige or Sophie?
Yeah, but it took me 40 years to figure that out. She was 11, and I didn't even help her. Like she just did it. But yeah, her thing. So the colored hair. That's my oldest daughter, Paige. Sophie's my younger daughter. And but what she did this time around is she's in band. She plays the clarinet, and there's this wind percussion band. They get to take a trip to Disneyland, and she really wanted to go to Disneyland. So one day she comes home and she's like carrying this big bass clarinet. And I'm like, what are you doing with this bass clarinet? And she's like, well, there's a lot of clarinet players in the band. And she's like, competition is fierce, but nobody plays the bass clarinet and they need one. So I asked my teacher if I could play the bass clarinet. So she practiced on it for like 2 weeks. And then she auditioned and she like got right in because was the only one that tried out for the bass clarinet.
Man.
So now she's going to Disneyland.
So let me get this straight. Your daughter deployed a blue ocean strategy in her band class.
She did, exactly. Yeah, exactly. She was like, a lot of people on the clarinet. I don't want to deal with all those people.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So funny. Yeah, what's been going on with you? You've been enjoying being back in Maui?
Yeah, man. It's been good. I've been, very focused. I've been talking to a lot of remote marketing sharks too. A lot of them, in the chat. A lot of you have been messaging me. A lot of you have been having conversations with me. That's been great. I don't know if you saw it just this morning. Well, it happened yesterday, but this morning when I woke up, I checked the email, right? Saw a new client come in, $1,000 SEO client. And, my assistant, Elle, she closed that deal yesterday. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, right? Because I didn't close the deal. I'm not going to fulfill the deal, but how does that all happen? How does that get done? The same way it gets done if I'm here in Hawaii or Tom's in Las Vegas or I'm in New York or wherever, right? We have systems in place. We have standard operating procedures. We know the prospecting method that we use. Everybody in our team knows it because there's a place to look at it. There's a process and everybody knows it.
Maybe if you don't mind and everybody wants to see it, maybe we can give them a sneak peek at the sales, one of those SOPs.
Uh-oh. Oh, man. I don't know, Tom. We don't have nearly enough likes on this stream today.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we can pull one of those up and show people what it is.
Plus, I think Corey said he doesn't like my hat, so.
Yeah. That's it, Corey. Yeah. Hey, I saw in the comments some things about Marvin Drobes, and I just want to say real quick, because we had Marvin on a training, our best wishes, prayers, hope Marvin gets through what he's going through very quickly and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. I spoke with him the other day. Yeah. Swift recovery, Marvin. Yeah, exactly.
So that's our first shout out to Marvin, right?
Right.
Hugs and support, our friend. Hugs and support. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, if you guys want to see a sneak peek at one of those SOPs, you're going to have to put some likes on here, and you're going to have to punish Dorn for making an angry face.
Yeah. Dorn.
I remember the first time he did that, we hung up the live, and I was like, who put an angry thing on there?
It's so funny because that's his Zoom profile picture basically, but it's a cat, but it's an angry cat. Grumpy cat. That's what it is. That's Dorn.
Do you have resting anger face, Dorn? Is that what it is? It's awesome. All right, I see some likes coming in. Cool. Well, let's start off. Let's do. Richard says, "Sell the farm." Sell the farm. What, man? Let's do. What do we want to do first? Let's do some shark shoutouts.
Okay, let's do it. You have them pulled up, or you want me to grab?
I do. Okay. I think I got all of that stuff squared away.
I noticed somebody shut off my background music. I guess they don't want to party with me.
Oh,
anymore.
I didn't do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Huh.
Let's throw on the night driver.
It is gone. Maybe turn it down a little.
Damn it, Tom.
Make it really low.
You adults always trying to make us turn down our music.
Yeah, us adults. Cool. All right. So these are our shout outs for this past week. So what we do, people share their wins, right? They share their wins in the Facebook group, and then we share them on the live show. And we've been keeping track of all that. We'll talk about that in a minute. So these are our wins from people in our community and our Remote Millionaires partners. Our shout outs, we need to fix that. That shout out, that black text, you just can't really see it. Yeah.
It's a nice looking shark, though.
It is. My brother did that.
Tom's brother drew our mascot. I don't know if you guys know that, but shout out to Tom's brother. What's his name? Tony?
Tony, yeah. We need to make him into NFTs.
That's a good idea. That is a really good idea.
We need to make them into NFTs. Okay, our shark shout out. So first, the first one goes to our Remote Millionaires partner, Daniel Lesser, who I just recorded an episode for our new podcast, soon to be released. You guys are going to like that. But Daniel closed 2 new SEO clients at 197 pounds a month and 1,000 pounds upfront for 7 months. 1,000 pounds. That's a lot. That's about what you bench, right, Nick? Bench 1,000 pounds?
On a bad day.
Oh,
That's cool.
me.
You know, Dan, one of the things that Dan is doing that I think really sets him apart is he's asking questions all the time, right? He's putting in the work, but then when he faces an obstacle or has an issue, he asks a question. And I think a lot of times, at least for me, I didn't ask a lot of questions, right? I don't want people to know that I don't know the answer. And that's not a good way to reach the goals that you're trying to hit as fast as humanly possible, right? If you need to figure something out, the best way to figure it out as fast as possible is to ask for help. So it's no surprise that he's, you know, moving the way he is.
Yeah, and for those of you that are wondering, like, well, what is he doing because he's had a lot of wins lately. He's doing, this is the key, taking action and doing. He's basically the home services jackpot. I mean, that's what he's doing, right? Like he's selling pre-made home service niche websites, and then he's talking to those people that buy the sites, and he's been turning them into monthly SEO clients. So yes, the strategy works. You just have to do it, right? So really, really great what he's doing there. Also, a big shout out to Cody Weaver. So Cody closed PPC ads, $320 a month to a local painter. He has a local real estate company, $1,400 a month SEO and SMM with possible geofencing added on. And he sold a website for $1,750. Guided duck hunting and logo creation. Guided duck hunting.
What?
Awesome, right?
What a niche. That's probably the coolest niche I've ever heard.
Yeah. So Cody is actually in Mississippi. I actually talked to him on the phone I didn't talk to him on the phone. I was chatting with him via Facebook Messenger, and he's actually in Mississippi, and he has a couple of other businesses, like local businesses. He has like a company called iJump, and there's one other one, but I can't remember. They're kind of like in that family party space, and but due to the pandemic, he got into digital marketing, and has people to run those other businesses. So he's been able to focus entirely on his agency, and he's working on scaling it. He's just been crushing it. So really awesome work, Cody. Way to go. And good job with what you got going.
Nice. Yeah. Cody, it's time to start raising those prices, man. It's time.
Yeah, he's doing really good. I just saw him like posting in his Facebook channel, like, hey, I'm headed out of town, but I've got so-and-so here to help you with all your marketing needs. If you need anything, reach out. Like really, really great.
And we're gonna talk more about that, everybody. One of the biggest or most helpful things that we can share with you is a little bit about how we set up our business so that we can travel and things do run without us being there. It's one of the hacks that we're going to talk about. If you saw the email on the live stream going out, it went out about the remote traveling hacks. So we're going to talk more about that.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to be doing is going on a vacation and, you know, have to get on Zoom calls with people you're trying to sell, right? That's the last thing you want to be doing.
Yeah. Awesome. Another shout out to JT Truesdell. He's a Remote Millionaires partner. He landed a new client. So as you guys know, last week, JT had a client that he had closed, and then as they were going to finalize everything, it turned out to be kind of a shady deal. So we recommended he let that client go. So he did, but he followed that up this past week by getting another client, and he worked it all out beforehand. He learned his lesson from the first deal, got everything up front. He closed a senior care consultant company. It's a $3,250 6-page website with SEO and Google business profile at $250 a month plus $150 for Google business profile setup, making it a grand total of $6,400 for his client. So awesome win, JT.
Massive.
Yeah, massive.
I like how he didn't, you know, just lose momentum. He kept going. You know,
yeah, it's easy to get down sometimes when those deals fall through.
It
right?
is.
Like you can be like, oh.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. Mindset is such a big thing. Like, I didn't really think it would be. I was more of like from the school of like mindset is very woo woo and
yeah,
you know, it's like not a big deal. But it really is a big deal. Like, regardless of what you're doing, you know, think about it. Like, anytime that you want to do something well, you kind of have to put a little bit of thought into it, right? And that thought is really mindset, whether it's playing the tape through and seeing or visualizing the outcome that you want, or even going a step further and being like, well, what do I need to do in order to visualize that or make that visualization come to life? How do I need to show up in my life, or at this meeting, or at this, event, or playing this sport? What do I need to do to make sure that I can control the outcome as much as possible to set me up for success? And that's, a lot of that is mindset.
Yeah, it's interesting the evolution that you kind of go through, right? Because I think there's, I know for me personally, like there was this evolutionary stage of where like I felt like I needed to learn, right? Like I need to know how things work, what's going on. I was like a lot of mindset stuff, right? Like especially around money and things like that. But like I quickly realized like mindset by itself doesn't do anything. Like you have to pair mindset with action, right? So like the first aha moment for me was like, oh, like I need to be taking action every day. I was just telling somebody I was on the phone with somebody the other day, and I was just telling them this, like the thing that kicked my butt in gear was when they said you're not going to have unemployment anymore. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to have any money. Like, how are my kids going to eat? Like that was it sounds so, it's like almost embarrassing to say that out loud, but that was like the kick I needed to actually take action that would result, right? For me, that is what pushed me to actually reaching out and talking to business owners, like either picking up the phone and calling them, or walking into their business, or going to, like, that was the thing that pushed me. And what's so funny is the first person I did that with, I closed them as a client. So then I was like all gun-ho about action. Like action's the only thing that matters. You just got to get out there and do it every day, and action. But then I started to realize like, oh, like a lot of that action comes from your mindset and how you develop your mindset and all that stuff. So they work together. So you have to have both. You can't, for me, I can't just sit around and think about all that stuff. Like I got to actually go out and do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. What's up, JT?
What's happening, JT?
You see your profile pic there on the shout out board. Congratulations.
Yeah. Jerry Abel, shout out, sold a new website for $800 from contacting 5 out of 6 businesses that don't have a website. So he had 6 businesses that didn't have a website. He contacted them. He sold 1. Pretty good. That's really good. Shout out to our boy, Norm Thomas, Remote Millionaires. Remember, I don't know if you guys who on here came to the Q&A call last week? Anybody?
I'm sure. A lot of people were there. So yeah. Yeah,
that Q&A call was awesome. And Norm shared some really amazing info about what he's doing. But Norm closed a $4,800 website deal on his birthday. Even works on his birthday with an added $950 per page thereafter.
Which is crazy. So he closed a deal on his birthday. I love that. Love the hustle. Respect the hustle. 100%. I'm 100% a guy that works on my birthday as well. But man, can you all do me a favor? And if you could tag Norm and wish him kind of a get well soon, because he has COVID right now and he's still working. And I was talking to him yesterday, in the Remote Millionaires call. But yeah, he was like, he showed up to the call with COVID. He was sick. I'm like, dude, you gotta rest. Get some rest.
Kind of like that day you called me and you're like, what are we doing tomorrow? And I was like, Nick, dude, it's Christmas Day. Like, I think we can take one day off.
Never.
Yeah. That drive is great. So awesome. Big shout out to Michael Howard as well. Norm, hope you get better, buddy. By the way, hope you get better. Big shout out to Michael Howard. He reported having a successful week, earning $1,000 doing website build, WordPress maintenance, and some WordPress training. So awesome work, Michael.
Nice, Michael.
A shout out to Bill Stanley, Remote Millionaires partner. 2 new project management deals he closed this week, $7,500 and $2,800. And just so you guys know, like I think Bill is a great example because the skills, the strategies, the things that we learn here can be applied to so many things, right? And Bill has a skill of doing project management, and he's been using some of the marketing techniques to close those deals, right? He's using lead lead tools to generate the leads. He's doing the outreach, and it's working, right? So way to go, Bill. Really, really awesome.
Dude, I was talking to Bill a couple days ago, and I was like, what's your revenue for the year already? He's already quarter one. He's already at like $45,000. Quarter one.
That's great.
He's gonna hit six figures like in the second quarter.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's gonna be awesome, Bill.
Yeah. And our final shout out goes to Nick Ponte. They closed a new SEO client, Pet Groomer, for $1,000 a month, plus the deal today, right? That's a different one, right?
I'm not sure which shout out that is, but yeah, probably.
Yeah. Awesome.
Sometimes I have to like remember to add the deals to the group because I just don't. Like we have a lot, and that's kind of why, you know, the Shark Alliance is powerful. That's why Remote Millionaires is powerful. It's because there's a little bit more like everybody. We're working in a little bit closer of an environment with everybody in those kind of groups. So, you know, when we land a client stuff, they know about it in other ways because we're talking about how we did it and everything. So sometimes I forget to just like, you know, snap a photo and put in the group just to let everybody know it's real. But yeah.
Yeah. And for those of you that are keeping track at home, that's a combined total. Just last week, our community closed $30,295 in business for the week of March 26th through April 1st. That's a grand total since the start of 2022 of $253,235. So congratulations, everybody.
Damn.
Good work out there. Good work out there.
I'm going to put on the dance pop background music for that one.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
There it is.
Shushan, what I need, I'm going to just tell you this on the live, so maybe you can help me. What I need from you to do the applause is, you know, that little graphic and sound effect you made for Member of the Week? I need something like that to do here so that I can click play and we can get applause like this. Oh, but I need a graphic different, one that doesn't say Member of the Week. Oh,
They're like, that's awesome.
I wonder, man, I tried to upload something last week and it didn't work. Shushan, did you make that or did the thing finally work? I don't know. Anyway, wow.
It's pretty cool.
Nice. So congratulations, everybody.
She said she messaged you on Slack.
Oh, cool.
Man, that's a lot of, like somebody said, that's a lot of dough. $253,000 since the start of 22 of all of you in this group taking action, crushing it. Congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and awesome work, Shushan. That's great. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Let's see what else we need to do. Well, we can get to our Member of the Week here in a minute.
Yep. Let's do our Member of the Week.
Yeah, there was one other thing I was going to talk. Has anybody said that they wanted to see the SOP? I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
I haven't even seen that. We'll see. Maybe they don't. That's okay. They got it covered. Nick. I know in the email we talked about, that was the thing. That was the thing I thought that could transition us in, because, you know, Nick talked about how we have our business set up so that we can travel and we don't really have to spend a lot of time there. And that's one of the reasons why Nick recently turned down a $1.5 million payday, right? Because somebody offered to buy the agency. And Nick was like, well, why? Like, what would it really change?
I'm curious, would anybody else have taken that deal? Like if somebody came to you and you have to, visualize you're making, $450,000 to $500,000 in your agency, and it's pretty hands off for the most part, right? Like ours is. If somebody offered you $1.5 million, would you take that deal? Would you take that deal? JT says no. Yeah, I didn't think so either. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, why, like Tom said, our thought process was, why would we? A lot of people do sell, and it's because they haven't set their business up to be actually hands off. I think that's the reason why people do sell their agency. If you have a very hands-off, cash flowy business, I mean, unless there's an immediate need, like you have an emergency and you need that money for something, you got somebody that's stuck in another country with a medical expense or something. That's the only thing I can imagine. Why would you do it? Richard says, since your name is on it, no, but if no restraint of trade was in place, why not? The name thing isn't really that big of an issue. I thought it was a bigger issue than I thought but all they really care about is
interesting facts, because I asked the person about that, and they said that like whether it is your own personal name or not, it doesn't affect your ability to sell at all here in the current market. Zero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Richard, I'm sure they're gonna do like a non-compete, right? You're not going to be able to, I wouldn't be able to come to Hawaii and build an agency again, right? There's no way they're going to allow me to do something like that.
Yeah. And I think, the other thing that is really interesting about the person wanting to buy the agent, because there's a lot of people out there that are looking to buy agencies right now, right? But it just shows you the value of what having an asset like that is, right? I mean, that's literally a $1.5 million asset we just have sitting in our back pocket, right? And, one of the things that we do, especially in programs like RM, is show you exactly how to build that asset yourself, right? And then help you along the way, give you all the stuff we use to do it, right? Everything we figured out, like the SOPs, which I saw people talking about in the comments.
Yeah.
Should we give them a peek? Should we give them a peek of an SOP?
Let's do the member of the week. Then we'll go into the topic of the live with the remote traveling, and then we can show them the SOP.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right. It's time for Yay, member of the week. So every week we pick somebody who's been a good steward of our community, and we honor them with member of the week. They get a special, oh, look, I'm actually in my office this week, so I can show you. Here are all the goodies in there. They get a special Shark Swag treasure chest. Try saying that fast 3 times. Like, I almost feel like I mess it up every time. Anyway, we'll get that sent to you. And this week, our member of the week is Michael Howard. Congratulations, Michael Howard. Always present in our community, offering his expertise to other members so they can move past their roadblocks. Today, he shared a win with us, and we just want to celebrate his successes and selflessness. So congratulations, Michael. The team will be reaching out to you, and we'll get that swag treasure chest.
Oh, snap. And we got Michael Howard here with us, everybody. If you could give him a tag in the comments, congratulate him. I'm sure he'd love to feel the love from the community.
Yeah, welcome. Congratulations, my friend.
Good stuff.
Awesome. All right, so member of the week. All right, let's talk about some travel tips.
All right, let's talk about some travel tips. I threw some stuff together. Some of just the bare essentials, right, as talking points, as reference. This is not meant to be, a YouTube video. I thought that these would be the important things that stuck out to me, right? So we're going to talk about 2 different things here. Remote business logistics, and then some of the living stuff, right? And
man, all those are terrible.
Horrible.
Those are
horrible. Horrible.
April
all right.
Fools.
So number 1. What? So number
I said
1.
April Fools.
Oh yeah, it is April Fools.
I should have been like, that's it. I'm out of here.
I forgot. Okay. So here's what I want to share with you, right? When you have a remote business, which all of you pretty much do, right? I would, if we were to poll the audience right now, I would bet only less than 5% of you actually had an office outside of your.
Yeah, that's important. You can have a remote business without going anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, just so you guys know, like,
right.
You can have a remote business and not go anywhere.
A remote business is one that you can just do from, your home or Starbucks, right? That's what a remote business is. And that Starbucks can be down the street from your current living situation, or it can be in Portugal. It doesn't really matter. But either way, that's what a remote business is. And so the way that we are able to do everything that we do is we outsource damn near everything, don't we, Tom?
We do.
Damn near everything. And
I'm actually outsourcing this appearance right now. This really isn't me. You don't know that yet, but
you're looking at a deep fake.
It took me a while to find somebody that looked just like me and sounded like me, but I did it.
Mm-hmm. So let me elaborate a little bit. Right, you have 10 times more leverage when you outsource everything. Meaning, when you have other people helping you, you separate your physical time from actually delivering value or creating value within your business or for your customers. So if you're one person, one man show, doing all the websites, the SEO, the copywriting, the link building, all that stuff, you only have so much time in a day, right? You can only get so much done. And when you're traveling, especially, and maybe just on a vacation or posting up for a couple months, the only way that you're going to get stuff done and enjoy yourself is if you have other people. You separate your time, your personal time, and have other people helping you do the things that you need to do. So outsourcing is key. The very first trip that I ever went on after starting my agency, I don't know if you remember this, Tom, I went to like Washington, DC, and a couple other places. And it was the first time that I was able to do that. And I had my projects going the entire time. I had one web developer helping me build the websites that I was working on. And I thought to myself, like, I could probably leave right now and just keep communicating, in Skype and make sure that this project gets done. And I remember that feeling of like being nervous of doing that. But once you start doing this, everybody, it just becomes normal. It becomes completely normal, and your mind just it broadens in what you're able to do. Before you don't think in a way that you're able to do that, like leave and travel and stuff still get done. But once you have these mechanisms in place, once you have a team, once you have SOPs, which is the second tier to that, then there's a lot of freedom that comes from that, right? So if you have a standard operating procedure on how to get clients, how to prospect, and the people on your team know how to do that, they have the SOP, they can follow that without you being there. And if you have that SOP that's so detailed, what's the message that you need to send when you're prospecting, or what do you say on the phone, and what are you looking for? And if you get this type of response, then what? If you are detailed in that way, then you don't really need to be a part of that process. Does everybody agree with that? Can everybody give me a 1 if you agree with that? Bill Soundley says your hair gave it away, fake Tom. It's because they knew you got a haircut and your beard isn't there today. Where'd your beard go? That was a dead giveaway, Bill. Totally agree. Right. Tom, you have anything you want to say about that, about the outsourcing? I know this is a bare essential in our community already, right? Everybody should be outsourcing. Everybody should be outsourcing.
And well, I think the biggest thing to add there is like, again, it like we talk about all the time here. We have a real, like, this is real business world, real business stuff, not pie in the sky things, right? So it's a process, right? The process starts with, okay, we have to start somewhere, right? So we outsource one thing, then we develop an SOP for that one thing, and then we continue to grow and move and do it more and more and more, right? So for us, the process started with outsourcing fulfillment. Right. So look, we'll continue to do the talking to the prospects and that type of thing, but we'll outsource fulfillment. And what came next really was the appointment setter. So we're outsourcing fulfillment. We have an appointment setter booking appointments. We're still closing the deals and being involved with the clients in that area. Once all of that was systematized and we had SOPs in place for all that stuff, then we started, project manager, things like that, training people inside the team. So we're at the point where we are today, where it's pretty hands off.
Yeah, that's a good point. And some of you might even be asking, like, well, I want to outsource, but I don't know who should I hire first? What position should I hire first? What role should I hire first? I don't know. And the tip that I'll give you in there is you have to go internal, right? Write down on paper, what is the busy work that you are doing each day? What is taking up the most time that you have right now that is low value work, taking up the most time, that's stopping you from doing the more high value work, that you should be doing if you could get that other stuff out of the way. And for most people in the beginning, it's usually some sort of administrative type person, right? Like helping you with payroll or invoices or following up with clients about specific things. In a small, agile, remote business, that person is usually also kind of a virtual assistant, right? So they can also start doing outreach for you, right? If you hire somebody that is generally good at communicating and they're smart, where they can pick up something that you show them, well, then you might hire them to help you with doing some outreach to businesses or being an appointment setter. But you might also be able to bring them in to do something else, give them a little bit more work in the administrative side, and slowly grow their role with you because they're good communicators, they're smart, and they're looking to build what they're doing, right? So in most situations for us, our teammates, they come in, and this is in the agency, this is in Offline Sharks, this is in Remote Millionaires. People come in for one thing, and because we hire for smart people with good communication, we end up asking them to do other things, and they're like, sure, I'll do that. And so they get paid more, they get more hours, they get more, there's more ways to grow what we're doing with them. And let's be honest, what we're doing here, everyone, this is not rocket science, right? You do not have to be born with some SEO skill set to figure out how to do SEO. That's just not the case, right? So there's a lot of people out there qualified to help us do these different things. You want to add anything to that, Tom, before I jump into the...
No, I mean, I think you hit it on right there. Like, absolutely.
Okay. And so I kind of mentioned this, having an administrative assistant of some kind is usually what people's first hire is. That's not some sort of fulfillment. And what I did is I asked that person to also start being my point of contact for my clients. So when you're traveling and you're doing the topic remote business traveling ticks, you do not want to be the point of contact for your clients. If something happens, if there's an issue, if they have a question, you don't want to be on call, right? You don't want to be on call. You want to have somebody else there that can field any incoming messages or calls. And so you can set that up, right? You can set that up online. You give them an email address. They don't even have to be where you are. They can be wherever, as long as they have an email address, which is kind of the catch-all for your business, maybe a virtual number, a Google Voice number for your agency. And anything that comes in, they're going to get, their job is to just respond within, 5 hours. And boom, like you no longer are the person on the hook to do all of that. How would that change your life? Let me know in the comments if that is something that would change your life. Being not the person on the hook for the point of contact for you and your clients. Is that something that is stressful for any of you?
Maybe. And by the way, just so you guys know, like for us, that person, Elle, like we hired, like she was doing appointment setting and this stuff, right? Like it can be one and the same person.
Yeah, and in fact, before Elle, it was our project manager, right? Who is in Italy. So the very essence of, we're in Hawaii, that's a remote place, and she's in the other side of the world. And I'm just saying this to help you connect these pathways in your mind, where I didn't think that it would be possible to have somebody in Italy being able to field questions and responses and phone calls for me, because I just thought it was too far away. I thought they'd speak other languages. I thought they wouldn't resonate with the clients. All false beliefs. Not true. Not true. And you know what? Thinking that way stopped me from getting these systems in place sooner than I should have. So if you picked up anything from this live today, it's that whatever you think isn't possible to be outsourced actually is possible. It really is. And it can be the client facing stuff. And to circle the wagons a little bit here on what Tom said, project management for us became, that was actually our point of contact for clients. And our clients were conditioned to only contact us through email at that time. So the person in Italy could take care of this for us. And so that eventually changed when we brought it in person, when we started hiring in person, which you do not need to do, but we wanted to do because we were curious about how it would have an impact in our business. And So that's when we had a point. Now we have an in-person point of contact, but you can have a VA, right? And so you want somebody to be able to be in between the clients and you, right? But then you also want a project manager who is in between the clients and the developers, right? So that's the fulfillment side. So you need, and it can be the same person. For a long time, it was just our project manager, is what I'm trying to say. And so, you know, this project manager is going to be the person that if a client has a question and they need help with something and you don't know the answer, he or she doesn't know the answer, they are going to go to your website developer and say, hey, I have this question about this. She's going to get the response and take it back to the client. So that's the go-between. And this all happens while you're not there, right? This all happens while you're doing your thing, right? Is anybody doing this, by the way, already? Does anybody who here has a project manager, if you have a project manager now, and type virtual assistant if you have a virtual assistant that's maybe your point of contact? This music's pretty funny, Tom.
I know, it's such a well. Then there's a delay in the comments, so it's like
it reminds me of being in like Super Mario World or something.
yeah, like we're just bouncing along.
We're gonna switch over to lo-fi beats now.
Jacqueline has a VA.
Nice, Jacqueline. Dorn has a project manager and a virtual assistant. I love it.
Bobby Roll has a VA. JT VA and new web designer.
Jacqueline says, I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell my clients I'm going on holiday in Easter, so I'll introduce them to my point of contact. Perfect, Jacqueline. Here's take it one step further. Already, right now, start adding your VA, your point of contact, as an additional email on all of your discussions with your clients. That's how you start looping them into what's going on, right? You might only have 5 or 10, or some of you might have 20 active ongoing clients. And the best way to bring somebody up to speed is just start tagging them in those emails so they can see the conversation going on. And eventually what will happen is they will already know what's going on and they can pick up wherever you've left off. They can start answering the emails for you, or they'll start to see how you answer the emails, and that will teach them how to respond when you're not there. I think the best way of doing, you know, even if you're doing sales, and Tom and I were talking about this yesterday, is by doing some sort of a ride-along type training with people on your team. You know, the emails, seeing how you respond and what they respond back to your response, and then, you know, the back and forth, that's going to help them understand how you do things, you know. And the more you do this, the longer you do this, and the more detail you pay attention to, the more you're going to be able to rely on whoever you're outsourcing with to be responsible and do as you would. Because that's the biggest piece, right, Tom, is not having trust in your contractors or who your employees or your outsourcers, right? And how do we build up trust, everybody? We build up trust over time by giving small little jobs, little tasks that get done on time in the quality that you want. And over time, you have somebody that just knows what to expect, knows what you want, and can just do it without even question.
Yeah, I think that's such a big point you brought up there, because I can tell sometimes from people's comments when we talk about outsourcing, they're always worried about getting scammed, which means they have this preconceived notion that all the majority of the people out there in the outsourcing world are like scammers, which is not the case. Like it's just not the case, you know? And so, you know, when you follow the right process to bring people in, when you have a good vetting process, when you do those things, you hire good people, and then time builds up that trust that Nick's talking about. And pretty soon you're totally fine with them doing all this stuff, right? But again, it's a process.
Yeah, it's a process. And it can be a little bit intimidating in the beginning, right? You might feel like, I'm never going to be able to get this done, or I'm never going to find anybody that I can trust that's going to be able to take care of it for me. No one's ever going to understand the project
They're
like
out there.
I will. They're out there, and they'll probably do it better than you. That's the thing. You're going to find out that there are people out there that you're going to be able to work with really well, and they're going to be able to do stuff better than you. And that's going to that's going to change your entire life. It really is. So before I move on from this, Tom, do you have any feedback or anybody have any questions?
Well, you know, it's interesting when you said they'll probably do it better, because like one of my favorite stories is the guys from Agora. So like they're trying to get Agora to over $1 billion, or was it $1 billion? 100 million. They're trying to get Agora to do over 100 million, and they're doing everything they can, and they're doing like 94 million, 95 million. Like they can never get over the hump. So finally they just give up and they're like, we're done. We just don't want to work in the business that much anymore. So they bring in a team. The very next year, the team crosses 100 million. The year after that, they're doing like 200 million. Like the roadblock was them, right? It wasn't the business. It was them. So I always love that story.
Yeah, they were the bottleneck.
Yeah.
And I found myself to be the bottleneck many times too. I mean, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
So
okay, let's talk about the living things.
All right. I just threw these out off the top of my head, right? I didn't get too into detail, but I want to share with you some things that were important on this last trip that I did, because I was gone for, a year, right? If you can, you should house hack. And what I mean by that is I was very hesitant to do this because I don't really like people in my personal space.
Pardon me.
But what I did was I rented out my house while I was gone. This house that I'm in right now, I rented it out, and I got a property management company to take care of it. So again, I outsourced, right? They were the go-between between me and the people that rented. There wasn't really any issues. They found great tenants. They found 2 people that, this is a 4-bedroom house. So it's a huge place for 2 people. They didn't have, nothing happened to the house while they were gone. They took good care of it. But the main thing is my mortgage got paid while I was gone, right? So the whole time I was traveling, it was like wherever I was staying, I mean, I got an apartment in New York. But it didn't really feel like I was paying any other expenses that I wasn't normally paying, right? I was just living in a different place. And so if you can house hack, you should totally think outside the box and make that happen. The other thing that I kind of realized now is, I might, because I like the apartment in New York and all that, I might close off the downstairs of this house and just rent it out the whole time and just have the upstairs be my Maui house. Come back to Maui and it's always there. It's always rented out and I can kind of come and go. So that could be cool, right? Not Airbnb, Dorn. Not Airbnb. Then the other thing is I highly recommend you stay in each place for at least 2 to 4 weeks, if you can. Just going to explore a place in a weekend, it's just not enough time. It really isn't, especially if you find a place that you really like, it's just not enough time. So if you can plan it out to stay a little bit longer, it makes such a difference. And I think for people that like the remote marketing, the nomad life, right, where you are planning to be gone for an extended length of time, you should definitely do this, because the thing that tripped me up the most this time is that nothing is consistent when you're traveling. When I'm here, I know everything, right? I know my favorite restaurants. I know how long it takes to get to them. I know where my gym is. I know where, I like to go meet my friends. Like all of that can become streamlined because it's familiar, but when you're somewhere else and you want to go somewhere for the first time, you don't know it's rush hour at this time, so you get caught in traffic, right? You don't know where you have to find stuff. Everything's new. It takes more time to just live there. And only after you're there for like a couple weeks do you actually get that feeling of like, oh, I'm kind of submersed in this place, and you just don't know that. Like when I went to go visit Tom in Vegas, Tom, it was just like, I was there for a weekend.
Yeah.
And when I left there, and I think everybody feels this way when they leave Vegas, I was tired. Yeah.
Well, and there wasn't enough time to do everything you wanted to do. Right? Like, yeah. It was so, we had to make choices because it was like, oh, well, if we do that, we can't do this and we need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. I hit the wall like 2 days after you guys left.
Caught up with you.
Oh, yeah, it got up with me.
Yeah. Okay, so there's 2 credit cards that I want to make mention to you. So number 1, for traveling, for sure, the American Express Platinum. It basically pays for itself and all of the stuff that you get while you're traveling. You know, all of the lounges, all that stuff. You know, just there's so many benefits. I can't recommend that one enough. Now it's like $400 a year or something like that, but totally worth it for traveling. You know, you will get like the red carpet rolled out to you at different hotels just for using that card. It's crazy. They'll give you, you know, free meals like twice a day in all these different hotels. You'll get a better car when you rent a car. It's just so many things that you don't even think about. And then the other one, though, this has nothing to do with traveling. For marketers, Tom, maybe you can tell them about the card that we use for marketing and why.
Yeah, for marketing and the agency side of things, we use the Amex Gold Card. And the reason we use the Gold Card, like they keep trying to get us to upgrade to the Platinum, but the Gold Card, you get like a really good points based on your ad spend. So like every time we buy Facebook ads, I think it's like 5 times the points or something. It's a really good amount. And the fee for the Gold Card is less. And there's lots of good perks, like you get points and there's all kinds of stuff that comes with the Gold Card too. So that's what we've continued to use for the business side of things, just because of that advertising stuff, right? You buy YouTube, whatever you spend on ads, like you get really great points on.
Is it 4-to-1 or is it 2-to-1?
It's like 3 or 4-to-1. It's not
Okay.
2-to-1. I don't think it's
Okay.
like,
So think about that, everybody. 3 points, let's just say 3 on the minimum, on the lower side. 3 points for every dollar you spend on advertising. Now, some of you that are running Google ads for your clients, you might even be collecting the ad spend, right? If you're collecting ad spend and then you're spending money on your credit card, it damn well better be a Gold American Express. You're getting 3-to-1.
You should definitely be doing that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's, again, it's more about leverage, right? You got more leverage there. And so there was a lot of my trip over this year, and I didn't realize this. I should have talked about this more. I think the majority of Vegas was all points, you know, like everything is from
hotels,
advertising,
like all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. There a lot of the stuff, because we do so much in advertising for businesses too, not just like, not even in Offline Sharks. We barely do advertising in Offline Sharks. We're only just starting to do it now. But yeah, you definitely want to get one of those cards to maximize what you're doing.
Yeah. When I came here to check out Vegas to see if we wanted to move here, like I paid for the rental car all with points from our Gold Card.
Yeah.
It was a big chunk of money to save. So
yeah. Tom spends all the points.
I do not.
He spends all the points. He doesn't leave me any. Angry face.
Awesome. Those are some great tips. And one thing we should make a note of. So like, one of the other live shows, I don't know if it'll be next week, but we'll do a Live Like Tom live show. And I'll talk about, because I don't travel as much as Nick, right? But there are lots of little things I've done over the years. You know, just even staying local and with the family that I think could be good for you guys to know. And plus too, I think another big missing component of this is like, there's lots of things you can do to enjoy the remote millionaire lifestyle before you ever hit that financial goal. And that's a lot of the stuff that I've been able to do over the years. That's why I like to live in places like Maui, and I like to live in places like Vegas, because I can experience those places anytime I want, right? So yeah, cigars, poker, and BMWs, baby.
That's great.
Yeah. But anyway, maybe we'll talk about that on another episode. But
you definitely should, Tom. There's so much there, you know, like that the family lifestyle of like being a remote millionaire. And like Tom said, we were living like millionaires long before we ever were. And you don't need $1 million to feel that way. You really don't. No. If you have this type of lifestyle, you will feel like $1 million far before you ever make 100,000 because of the freedom that you get. And that's really what, you know, that title Remote Millionaires is all about. And I didn't even really think about this, Tom, but yeah, somebody's asking like, what's the price of the program? The reason we were sharing these tips were just out of, you know, relevancy, because here we are today, you know, we just went travel, you know, all those things. So we weren't really trying to like pitch the program. But the reality is with Remote Millionaires, there's a number of different ways to get in. It depends on how fast you want to go. And really, we don't just bring everybody into Remote Millionaires, right? It's a small group. And the reason it is because it takes a lot of effort on our end. Tom and I are working with everybody in that program directly. If you're in Remote Millionaires, you're in this call, give me some, let them know what I'm talking about here. We work directly together. You have questions, we're there. And so it takes a lot, it takes a lot to do that. But more than that, whoever joins, we have to make sure that we know what their goals are, right? If somebody joins and they're like, well, I want to make $1 million this month. I'm like, dude, you're not going to be a good fit. It's not going to happen. We're not going to take your money. You can't join. Like we'll shut you down. So for that reason, we like to talk to people. We like to get on the phone, hear where they're at, make sure it's a good fit. And if it is, then, make you an offer to join RM. So there's no price point throwing it out there. You might also benefit from going a little slower than somebody that wants to join and, take the private jet and skip all the guesswork. If you want to skip all the guesswork, great. We have that program. We have that option for you too. So,
yeah. And if you guys, I've found it. If you guys want to know, if you want to see more about the program, and this wasn't our intention, but you can always go check out this training Nick did, offlinesharks.com/virtual fortune. And it'll give you a little more insight and what the next steps are and all that stuff. So you can check that out.
Yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, we got to do two things. One, we promised everybody we'd show them an SOP.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Damn it.
So all right, here we go. I'm going to show you some of this. So look. So these are a few of the categories that we have SOPs in for the agency, right? Administrative, client getting, fulfillment, project management. Let's just go with client getting because we were talking about that. So these are our client getting SOPs. You can see we have one for, first you can see there's a lot of stuff in these. There's the business verification method that we use with Agency Growth Machine. Here's an email one. Here's remote prospecting. Here's a sales call. So basically, these SOPs, look what we're doing. Everything is in here. Any resources, anything the person needs to accomplish this task, and it's laid out step by step. So this is where and the reason I'm showing you this is because this is where you want to go with your business. You want these in all of these departments. So you want them in administrative, client getting, fulfillment. Look at all the fulfillment ones, right? Web design, social media, site speed. You want these SOPs. This is how you have a business that you can operate hands off. So, again, this is a process, right? That's a process. It took us over a year to put all these together. But this is what you're aiming for.
Yeah, not to mention we had to do all those things to be able to even put the SOPs together, right? We had to figure out how to do all those things. And then it took us that long to actually document the process to make it very detailed. Well,
Nick, we have one more thing to do.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Put the hat on backwards now.
You got to give away some Cash App money. Yeah. So every show, when people go to our shout out post and leave a heck yeah, way to go, good job comment, then we like to give them some money. And our winners today are, the Lady Sharks in the house. The winners today are Janice Douglas and Kristen Bedard. Janice and Kristen, congratulations. Actually had a call with Kristen. Awesome to see you on the Wonderboard there, Kristen. She's a new, Kristen just joined RM, and she's got a lot of great stuff going on. So welcome, Kristen. Congratulations. Those are our two winners. The team will reach out to get your Cash App tags or your PayPal, and we'll get you situated there. Nick, anything else before we wrap this bad boy up?
Yeah, that was a good live show. Thanks everybody for showing up and asking questions and giving us feedback. And if you guys are interested in knowing more about those SOPs and how we're doing everything that we do, go to that link offlinesharks.com/virtual fortune. We opened the training back up by popular demand. So, it's only going to be up for a couple of more days, but you definitely want to go check it out. And we had a number of people already join. We have a couple of spots left. So if you want to systemize your business in a way that you don't have to do the sales, the prospecting, or the fulfillment, then you're definitely going to want to go check that out.
Yeah, that's our new motto. Outsource damn near everything.
Yeah. I'm going to make a shirt. You need to make a shirt.
If you want
We do
to
need to make a
outsource
shirt.
everything, then you should go watch that training. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, hey, thanks again for hanging out with us. Stay safe out there. Practice Aloha. We will see you here next Friday. Same shark time, same shark channel. Stay safe, everybody. Bye.
You've been listening to the Sharks Live Show, your weekly marketing jam session. Always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote business from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube and Tom's podcast at tomgaddis.com. We'll be back here next Friday for another Sharks Live Show. Until then, aloha.